I do the same. It's okay. And like wherever the beer and nachos are, I'm okay with that.
Exactly. That's the team I'm supporting, except the Cowboys. Screw the Cowboys. But, so, and the Patriots. So,
Hey,
no, yeah. So,
listen, the Patriots, don't get me started. They won a lot of Super Bowls.
Patriots and a lot of, hey, if you're from Miami and you like the Patriots, man, get on the boat and get the hell out of Miami.
I did.
Well, you're still in South Florida.
Not in Miami, bro.
Well, you like the Patriots? Well, hold on. Let's take a couple steps back. Are you a Patriots fan?
Not anymore because Tom Brady left. So now I'm for Tampa.
I was about to say we need an intervention here.
No.
Oh wait, now you're for Tampa?
Yeah.
We need an intervention here.
Buccaneers.
Yo, where's your boyfriend? We got to talk to him, man. Come on, this is not cool. All right. Either way, so it's about to get crazy here because when the World Series was going on, the Phillies made it to the World Series for baseball, right? So it turned up. It was a huge party. People were just drinking, eating, good time, right? So now with the Eagles here, I mean, it's insane, right back to back. So now with the Eagles here, it's about to be a fun time up here. I'm excited to see what's going to happen here, and I'm excited to see who the Eagles are going to play. But that's another conversation. What I was going to start with is had an interesting day. I've had some pretty racist stuff come out my way. Literally, it was crazy on Instagram, right? So I noticed it's not like I just noticed, but something that's always caught my attention is that when you post on something where there's going to be more left-leaning people, and you say the words prayer, it like opens a box of hatred. It is the craziest thing
it's
ever.
a can of worms.
Dude, I should have taken a screenshot of what this person was telling me. I mean, was calling us, because I was talking about this kid. It's a short video. I want to see if I could find it, actually. So it's a short video of this kid in the classroom, and he's legit cursing out a teacher. Like, legitimately just saying the wildest things, right? And after he called his teacher a bitch, the parent came and took him out. So me being me, I went and commented on it. And I was like, geez, man, this country needs a lot of prayer, right? Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, I found the video right here. I'm going to play it right now. Give me a second. Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm about to play it right now. Tell me what you think. All right, where are we at? Window. Cool. Wow, that's a lot of screens there.
I feel like I could just walk right into that screen.
Right? All right, guys, I'm trying to figure this out. Bear with me here. Let's see if it works this time. Oh, my God. All right, it's not working out as I expected. But I'm going to play the audio so you guys can listen to it. Now, this is these kids look really, really young, right? They're in a classroom setting. The teacher's talking to them. And just hear it out. So the kid just told the teacher, shut the fuck up. Okay? I don't know if you guys caught that there, but listen to the rest. Did you just hear that?
I didn't hear anything.
You didn't hear anything. Okay. I don't know what's going on with my stuff today, so I apologize for all of that. So essentially the teacher is there in front of the classroom, and while she's talking, she's saying good morning, she's welcoming everybody. Kid comes up and just screams out of nowhere, shut the fuck up. And everybody's like, hey, what's going on, right? So as everyone's going, saying, hey, what's going on? She goes, do you need to leave? He goes, shut up, bitch. Mind you, looks like an 8-year-old kid, maybe younger, right? Man, let me tell you, man, I'm Latino, man. La chancleta will come at him hard if my son or my daughter was to do any of that in front of everyone, my shoes coming out, So he says that. So I commented, I was like, poor kid, man, this country needs a lot of prayer. Right? The amount of attacks and people that came at me for saying the word prayer was wild.
Did you check their profiles, bro? They were probably bots.
Bro, they're always the same thing. Like, they're people, but their pages are always private, right? And their pictures of of objects. So it probably is a bot. But I wouldn't doubt if it's people themselves. So this one person went in on me talking about, you people need to get your shit sorted, your prayer, you talk about prayer is bullshit, you motherfuckers, and you get your bitches in line. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
What? That doesn't even make sense to anything.
Huh?
That doesn't even make sense to anything.
Well, he was just wilding out the fact that I said prayer. right? Saying that, pretty much saying that Christians are the reason this shit is fucked up, right? So other people came in to debate. Another person came in the same thing, say prayer and shit, and going wild on it. So I'm like, geez, this is a little bit much. So I'm on Facebook. So I'm on Facebook. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna troll a little bit this time around. So I went in a Facebook group for the VR stuff where I know there's gonna be people who are a lot of libbies up there. And I commented. I was like, hey, does anybody know in VR world any groups where I can talk guns, faith, and business? So I purposely put guns and faith together just to see the reaction. Man, the reaction I got right off the back is like 2-3 people coming at me already about the whole prayer thing. I mean, about the whole faith thing. I'm like, wow, bro, so much hate towards him, and I can't blame them. I guess I was like that when I was an atheist. I don't think I was that much of a degree, but then again, social media wasn't what it is now when I was an atheist, right? But it's wild, man. And I'm looking at all these people comment all this craziness, and I'm thinking about it. I'm like, this is why this world is not going to get any better unless people start, like coming together and stop fighting over stupid shit, right? So one person that was stating there, like, prayer is not going to do nothing. Essentially, we came to an agreement, even though they still wanted to dismiss prayer, which is fine. Which is, in Christianity, faith without works is dead. That's essentially what the Bible says. You can pray, you got faith, but if you're not putting the work in, it's not going to get anywhere, right? Mm-hmm. So essentially, he was stating that, but in the manner of like as in prayer doesn't work.
Yeah.
So in that discussion, we're going back and we're talking back and forth over everything, and I'm like, dude, the places where the change starts is at home, okay? And at home it starts with prayer, then it starts with getting having your home in order, and then everything else comes after that. These people are just like, no, we got to fund this, we got to fund that. I'm like, we can fund as much as we want, as long as homes don't have their dads present, leading their kids, their mom holding it down. The family unit that we're supposed to have. Homes don't have that. There's going to be chaos. Statistically speaking, there's going to be chaos in some way, shape, or form. Not saying every child's going to be reckless and bad, but I mean, from my personal experience, you know me since we were young.
Yeah.
I went through a lot of rough patches. I did a lot of stupid shit.
Dude, since 7th grade, I remember when you were in high school, eras candelita, bro.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, I was not, and that's because I got around the wrong people. Because I didn't, it's crazy. So, like, I got picked on when I was in middle school, I remember. And what happened is that I remember getting jumped at a bridge, right? And once I got jumped at the bridge, and this is by I'm in high school. These are adults. They're just beating me up on a bridge, me and my friend, right? Fortunately, we got to run off. So after that, it just became a downhill of, getting into martial arts and hanging around people looking for that male figure, because my pops wasn't the male figure at the time, which the male fingers. The male role models. Let me say it like that. So I'm gonna change the words up because I'm gonna catch shit. The male role models there weren't. I loved them to death. They were there for me when others weren't, but they weren't. Sharing the right messaging, and there was guns in the home, there was drugs, there was stuff like that, right? And it just created this whole downhill stuff. But I guarantee you, if my father was present at the home at the time, things were in order. And that doesn't mean like just the dad being present. I mean, dad doing his dad duties, right? Mm-hmm. Was there, things would have been different. I probably wouldn't have been fucking around the way I did. And if I did, probably not as to the degree I was going into, which is why I left New York, because it was getting a little bit too dark. Yeah, But that's what I wanted to start off with, because I'm like, it's just crazy. I'm like, if people don't start understanding that all these issues we're facing right now we don't start solving it at home, they're just going to further grow into bigger problems, and it's going to become even more reckless, and we're really going to have to all pray, because it's just going to keep going down the hill. But either way it goes, guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you so much. We are on Rumble, and I need to check what the numbers are on there, but we have gotten more people listening in. I got to say, I love the way Rumble works. I'm tired of YouTube. I really am. More crap that they're pushing on there is just, it's fucking annoying. Yeah, so Rumble definitely is the way to go. But a lot is happening between the Pfizer stuff, which we're going to talk about right now, and Trump coming back on Facebook and Instagram. Did you hear about that?
No, I did not. I saw in the notes that he was coming back to social media, but I was like, yeah, I remember that was but
yeah, 2 years. So the 2 years are up. Now, whether he's going to come back or not, I don't know. I've heard that they're talking about yes and not. And I would see it as a mistake if they don't, because there's so many people relying on Facebook and Instagram, regardless of how you feel about them.
I think people would still be on Truth Social. You know what it is? I think it's just the exclusivity as well, because he literally Truth Social just for that purpose, for everybody not to be censored and stuff like that. And just him being on there, just the exclusivity of it, that's really why he was thinking of not coming back. I mean, obviously he didn't say it, but business-wise, it just makes sense to me.
Yeah, so to me, he needs to come back, because although there's Truth Socials on there, there's a lot of users on there, there's still a lot of people on Facebook and Instagram that don't check Truth. Like, if I'm being quite honest, I don't even check Truth myself.
Me either. I went on it, and then afterwards I completely forgot about it. I like the platform. It's kind of like Twitter, but I don't know. There's not a lot of people to interact with. It's still fairly new, so.
Yeah, so I really like more where I'm at now. I mean, I know there's censorship on there. Twitter has gotten a lot better. There's still ways to go. Man, the Twitter files, have you been watching those? It's been insane, right?
I have to keep up more with it. So next episode, I definitely want to talk about that.
Between Project Veritas and the stuff that Twitter's releasing, I'm like, geez, man, it's insane.
Dude, so I actually want to activate my Twitter account now.
I will say 100%. Look, Twitter has a lot of bots on it, has a lot of issues on there. However, there's changes coming on there. I believe that Twitter is changing. And if you want to be on, like, if you want the first of the news to come up or catch things on that's like really important and happening, Twitter's the place. I find out so much shit on Twitter. I'm like, damn. Like this man that was just killed recently by the 5 or 6 officers. We didn't even make notes about that, but I don't know if you looked into that. There's riots right now currently going on.
I saw something about that, but I saw that the article came from CNN, so I immediately didn't even look at it.
No, you know what? I looked into it, and man, I mean, I haven't gotten into crazy depth about it. There's probably more things that are going to come out of it. But just based off the footage itself and how to beat this man, it was wrong. The officers were totally wrong. The man looked like he did resist, but honestly, man, if I'm getting beat to shit like that, or I know I'm going to get beat to shit like that, I'm going to resist. I'm not just going to do that. No, it's just instinct, right? The way they dragged this man back, man, it was a damn shame to law enforcement. This is one of those scenarios where, rightfully so. I hope they get all the punishment they deserve on this one. But there's more information that will come on there, so we'll know more.
Yeah. So you know what? I definitely want to wait on that, and let's see what more stuff comes out.
Look, here's the thing. If you didn't watch the footage at all?
No, I haven't seen it.
So I can't even share my screen because it gave me like a million screens there. But if you haven't, I would definitely recommend you check it out. And I promise you right off the bat, you're going to see the officers were wrong.
Oh, okay.
It was terrible. But besides that, right? So that's going on. So Twitter, you find out so much happening. That's how I found out about Trump coming back on as well. And I'm like, okay, cool. Now let's see what he's going to say. Because as you guys know, if you've been listening, I have my quarrels with Trump, especially particularly when it comes to like the vaccine situation. But honestly, if he's going to be the candidate for 2024, and there's no DeSantis running 2024, I'm definitely backing Trump, right? So I'm glad he's on there because I feel like that's going to give more access to people to have information. But now that he's being there, he was banned from Meta for 2 years. Okay, and now he's coming back on there. And Meta released a statement, which I'm going to put the article onto the bio of the video. And this is what it says. They start off the article with. It says, social media is rooted in the belief that open debate and free flow of ideas are important values, especially at a time when they are under threat in many places around the world. It's funny that comes from them, right? Mm-hmm. As general rule, we don't want to get in the way of open public and democratic debate on Meta's platform, which is also total bullshit because we already know that they do get in the way of stuff, right? Oh, sure. This is something that's not been hidden. You guys can research this yourself, okay? Especially in the context of elections in democratic societies like the United States. What happened with the Hunter laptop? Regardless, the public should be able to hear what their politicians are saying, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Which is interesting because, we already know the whole censorship issue. And I don't want to keep interjecting these thoughts in there. But when I was reading this first paragraph, it just right off the back, it's like, this is more deceitful information coming from Meta, right? And if I'm wrong, correctly, so that they can make informed choices at the ballot box. But that does not mean there are no limits to what people can say on our platform. Let's take that back again. So they can make more informed choices at the ballot box. Would you not say that the suppression of the Hunter Biden's laptop was suppressing information from people that will help dictate the elections?
Oh, yeah, of course. That was definitely interference because, definitely with that being leaked out, that was definitely going to compromise the Biden administration.
Exactly. So, and amongst other stuff that were also suppressed by them as well. So there was definitely interference when it came to the elections. So right here, this article is just spearing bullshit, right? It goes, but that does not mean there's no limits to what people can say on our platform. When there's a clear risk of world harm, a deliberate high bar for Meta to intervene in public discourse, okay? Again, I'm going to post this up in the bio so you guys can read the entire thing. So there's so much more context there. I encourage you to read anything we post up, anything that we say, research and read, okay? But here it goes. It goes into the next paragraph. This is the bullshit statement they have here. And I want to point out a few reasons, right? It says, 2 years ago, we took action in what were extreme and highly unusual circumstances. We indefinitely suspended the U.S. President Donald Trump's Facebook and Instagram accounts following his praise for people engaged in violence at the Capitol on January 6, 2021. So, did we all hear that? Are we all in agreement that they said he praised the violence that happened? All the crazy stuff that was going on there. They just said that he praised that, right? And that's why he was shut down from social media. Am I wrong? Am I right? Okay. So we agree. Now, it's total bullshit because if you do the research yourself, you're going to find out on that day he did not praise violence. He did not encourage violence. Now, sucks that I can't play the video where he states it. So I'm going to have it on on here so you guys could be able to check it out yourselves. Okay. But let me find here. But I'm going to read out two of the posts that he did. His final post that he did on the day he was suspended from Facebook. I don't know if anybody recognizes it, right? But as you read here, there's a lot of lies that are embedded on there. And this is what he said. Again, they said he praised, right? First thing, hold on, there's a video. Okay. The very last post that Donald Trump had posted on Facebook, it was January 6, 2021, as things were going crazy. He said, I am asking for everyone at the U.S. Capitol to remain peaceful, no violence. Well, he's praising violence, right? Remember, we are the party of law and order. Respect the law and our great men and women in blue. Thank you. Right before that post, there was another one that he has posted up there. He said, please support our Capitol Police and law enforcement. They are truly on the side of our country. Stay peaceful. Where do we see violence there? Okay, where is that being encouraged? Because from what I saw there, man, it's not. And I'm going to try one more time to play this video. Tell me if you do not hear it, okay? Let me know, but I'm going to try to play it anyway. Mm-hmm. Can you hear it? Mm-mm. Okay, let me try to do it like this. So I would love for you guys to hear this. All right, tell me now. You can hear it. It's so weird how you can't hear it. Well, either way it goes. He, in this video, which I'm going to have the link on the bio as well, okay? This is when he was doing the speech before everyone went up to the Capitol. Right. In the speech, if you guys check out the video that I shared here, 3 hours and 50 minutes and 51 seconds, you can start time on there. Right. And he's talking about marching, people going to the Capitol and do their marching. Now, when he's talking about people going to the Capitol and marching, nowhere did he encourage any type of violence whatsoever. Not one bit of violence. He did not encourage. He said peacefully. Okay. He stated peacefully, just like his post there as well. Peacefully. Yes, he said we got to be strong. Yes, he says we have to. I think he has said we have to fight, but not in that regards. In the context of it, as in we got to stand firm, which is true, right? Some might say us doing this podcast, sharing this information, this is a way of fighting back against the corruption that's going on in our current political atmosphere, right? So he himself stated peacefully multiple times, right? So now here's the thing. As a matter of fact, me see if this here. No, okay, no, this is the Post. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to look through my notes here as I'm going because I want to make sure I'm captivating everything that was said there, right? Okay. So essentially what I'm trying to say here is that I remember that day like it was yesterday because I remember seeing all happen. I knew people who were actually there. And the people that were there were not looking for problems whatsoever. In fact, a lot of them didn't even go towards the Capitol at all, right? I think every single one that I personally know did not go to the Capitol. But I heard his speech, and they all said the same thing. He did not encourage any sort of form of violence, okay? That was people that did the crazy stuff, that was them acting on themselves, okay? Now, this is just, obviously, it's just another ploy for for the media to vilify Donald Trump. Meta in this case to vilify him because they want people not to like him. They want to hate him because he's a danger to their agenda. Exactly. He's a danger to that. Right now, I have my doubts in certain ways again when it comes to stuff like the vaccines, but in other ways he has made it evident that he's not with the establishment, which is why we need him back. Right, or at least to hope so. And as this is going on. I mean, think about the cases that they brought on against Donald Trump. I mean, they raided him for having classified information. I mean, they've been trying to make this man's life the worst hell possible. But what have they found for them to convict him? Where have they found that proved that he incited violence?
Nothing. It's just a witch hunt.
That's all it is. That's all it is because, again, they don't want him to run. They don't want him to be the president again. Can you imagine the heat that's going to come out about DeSantis if DeSantis runs for president?
Dude.
Oof, man. You know, it's crazy because they're very coordinated in the way they push out their real misinformation, right? They're very coordinated.
Yeah, no. DeSantis decides to run. No. Just expect all of those.
It's going to be
anti DeSantis campaigns.
It's going to be crazy. So
and fake witnesses and whatever the most bizarre shit. It wouldn't surprise me,
bro. It's going to be crazy, and it's going to be, and this is why it's very important. I see a lot of issues going on within the Republican Party itself, and I'm like, man, this is the times where we're supposed to be the most united, most true to the Constitution, most true to our country, our country's values and stuff like that. But there's a lot of infighting. There's a whole drama with other podcasts and stuff like that. And one of the guys was bringing up what seems like either corruption or just insanity. And I agree with him from what I've seen thus far. It's we don't need to be having this. We're supposed to be fighting against an establishment that's trying to keep us down, that doesn't want us to progress and move forward, and that wants to take away our basic liberties, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why are we fighting these people? Man, these people, I've noticed they can disagree so much, but they'll disagree in the background and be united up front. And that's how they keep coming out strong. We're just we're a mess. We're like a household that can't keep it together.
Yeah.
And everybody sees it. And it's man, we need to straighten out because if we don't, we're really going to lose this country at some point. But that's enough about that. I want to go move on to the next part because this is where I personally have a personal problem when it comes to the vaccines. I believe it's harmed one of my family members, very, very close family member. For sake of their privacy, I'm not going to state it. It's causing a lot of heartache, and amongst other people I've heard as well who've lost people, and it's sad. It's disgusting. You want to take on this one right here, Catherine?
So basically what I want to talk about is the Pfizer leaks. So of course, everybody knows that there is it's no secret that the medical industry only benefits when a population is sick. And of course, the only thing that's going to save you is eating well and exercise. A customer cured is a customer lost. Do you agree?
Yep.
So recently, Project Veritas strikes again with a new undercover video with one of the executives of Pfizer. His name is Jordan Walker, where he appears to brag about the mutation of viruses such as COVID that Pfizer is considering. It's that they appear to be bragging about the mutation of viruses such as COVID, and that's what Pfizer is considering to do. So they can develop vaccines. That is considered a gain of function research. He does try to say that it's not, but it is. And that's when he was questioned by the undercover reporter. So as defined, just so everybody's clear on this, Gain of function is a research process that aims to genetically alter a virus or organism to gain or lose function on its transmissibility or pathogenicity. There we go. However, viral gain of function on infectious diseases places great risk to global health as it directly aims to alter viruses directly to the people. And of course, I put a link underneath, which you guys can go look at, that it talks a little bit more about gain of function research. So this can cause another pandemic and kill millions of people. And Walker also stated that he believes that that is the same way that COVID was released. Remember when Trump was saying that this originated from a lab and then everybody thought that he was crazy, or they try to make him look like he was crazy? No, he was spot on. So even this guy that is an executive, he's even saying that. He believes that the virus didn't come out of just nowhere, and the narrative is bullshit in that sense. So his date met with him as a result of Grindr. So remember that joke that I made months ago when we did an episode, because James O'Keefe is amazing with his undercover work. Project Veritas.
It's insane.
When you're a nerd that cannot get anything and you have no game and a hot blonde comes out of nowhere, I'm sure it's James O'Keefe. So his date met with him as a result of Grindr. He was begging him not to say anything.
Grindr
so
victim.
To be clear, huh?
It's like a victim to Grindr.
Exactly. But hey, that was pretty slick, though. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty good work. How did he even get selected? That's what I want to know.
Let me tell you something, man. I don't know how they don't need to give out their tactics because it's working clearly.
No, I don't want them to.
The way that they get in there and they get these people to expose themselves, man. You know, it's one thing when you're making a video saying this person did that and this and this and that. It's another thing when you got to have them expose themselves. Right? Mm-hmm. There's so much more credibility to that, because how can you take away credibility from something that was said by the person that you're saying that's going to say it? Make sense?
Exactly. And then later you could find these people on LinkedIn too. That's the best part.
It's crazy, man. But you know what? Good. We need to expose the wrongs that are being done out there. That's how we progress. That's how the people shine light in the darkness, so the darkness will get cast away. That's what's wrong.
I mean, just even the stuff that I've said so far, and I haven't even gotten into the grit of it. I mean, look how many relationships were fractured over this COVID nonsense, over the vaccines.
A lot.
Like, how many people were killed? You know what I mean? Or how many people, have had injuries because of the vaccine?
Dude, look, people lost it, not even just because of the vaccine, because of the whole pandemic itself. Well, yeah. People lost businesses, right? There are things that I've noticed about myself that's changed from being locked down for so long with those masks and stuff, right? Me and my sister were talking about that today. People got injured, right? Friendships were lost because people came into heavy disagreement within the vaccine itself. Family relationships were destroyed because of it, right? A lot of people got something because they felt forced to it. And others, it's like nobody forced anybody to do it. You're stating that if you don't get this vaccine, you're going to take that plate of food away from that family. That's not forcing them, And I mean, if you want to get to the core of it, sure, you're not forcing anyone, because I said no, and I'm willing to walk away from it if that's going to become a mandatory thing. And I got 2 kids and a wife to watch out for, and a dog, right? So I got a lot that's depending on me, but I'm not going to fall victim to something that I know it's bullshit. But a lot of people went on with it, and now unfortunately, they're feeling the bad sides of it, the bad side effects of it, right? So to your point, yeah, a lot was destroyed because of these vaccines, the whole pandemic in general.
Yeah, 100%. And, it just kind of sucks for the people that they actually had to, or they felt, that without it, they wouldn't eat. I feel really bad for those people. My view is the same thing as yours. I personally was ready to walk away from my job. Did not care. Of course, I made good decisions with my money. So of course that's a factor where I can't be coerced to do anything. But I was ready to walk away from it. And I was in a position of power back then. So, I honestly, when the company would say, oh, you have to do temperature checks with the associates, The girls came to me with the thermometer, and I'm like, you'll live. You're here. You're fine. I'm sure you're not sweating. You'll be fine. Just go clock in. We're good.
Yeah.
And yeah. And then later when they would send me when they would show me their screenshots of the checklist of oh, do you feel this? I'm like, girl, I don't care. That's the flu. Bye. Go work.
That's
or if they're so Kat, are you going to get the vaccine? I sat, and it was an open conversation. I always made it to them that it's it's your choice. You could do whatever you want, but I'm telling you just my opinion as to why I highly advise against it. But at the end of the day, that's a decision that you need to make for yourself. You're young. Your parents support you. You don't need to work. Don't ruin your life. That I would just basically make it my point to go and talk to these girls, because these girls, I worked with a lot of teenagers. It's a young brand. So, and these girls, they're very impressionable, easily influenced. And I felt bad for them because it's they think that they're doing something for the good of mankind, I guess you could say. And then later it's when I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it. They're like, oh my God, but why? You're going to get sick. And I'm like, no, let me explain. So, I basically, I felt like I did my part in that sense.
Of course. And you did. I remember your stance on it, and you were ready to walk away if you had to. Right.
100%.
And that's what it took for a lot of us to do so. So again, if you want to go to the core of it, yeah, I guess we weren't forced. We just made the decision whether to do it or not, right? For myself, when New York passed the mandates on, the whole, we need to get vaccination records and all this other crap. I said no. Now, mind you, I live in PA, and the employees lived in New York, and they probably didn't care. But for me personally, I was like, look, you want to ask them, you could directly go ask them yourself. I'm not going to ask them. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to encourage any of this, right? I know where I stand. That's it. If it doesn't work out, and I legit said this, if it doesn't work out, we can have a conversation about my future here. But I'm not going to do it. So they actually had to get somebody else to do it, because I was like, nope, I'm not doing it.
Yeah. And also another thing that I do want to point out, I was very observant of, for example, the physicians that I would always go to in case if I needed anything, who recommended the vaccine.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's just, I feel like that's indoctrination.
Bro, everything, even now, I go to a veterinarian, right, for my dog. And when I go to the veterinarian, they make you wear a mask. I'm like, I look at them, I'm like, why do I have to wear a mask? It's our policy. I'm like, dude, the fucking pandemic is over. But it's like, no, you're not. It's like, your president came on TV and said it's over. And I haven't worn a mask in months. I'm not wearing a mask. And they were making no deal of it. I'm looking at my dog. I'm like, oh, give me the mask. So I grabbed the mask, and I sat down with it in my hand, and I didn't put it on. I just sat there. They didn't tell me shit. I'm a big dude. They're probably going to tell me nothing because I'm a big dude. They don't want to have problems, because they're just doing their job. But I'm not gonna bend a knee, right? Even when I go to, the only time I still wear a mask, the only time, and I want to find another med, is when we take the kids to the pediatrician. That's it. That's the only time, right? Because all the places we go to, and I cannot not take my kid to a doctor, right? But even when I'm there, last time we had a hippie, she's definitely a liberal, bro. Hippie style doctor with the tie dye and all that. And I have my mask here. She goes, oh, it looks like Daddy forgot to put his mask up. I was like, I did not forget to put my mask up. I don't need to know why I was like, I don't know. My wife was like, ooh, because I'm like, we shouldn't even be wearing this shit. She's like, my wife, you can see my wife like,
Good for you. You said that. Good for you.
Yeah, because Brittany, Brittany knows I'm crazy. She's like, you always gotta go and start a problem. I'm like, no, it's not that. I'm not bending a knee. I'm just not committed to it. To her credit, she's come a long way when it comes to those things, and she sees it too. Right? I mean, it's hard. It's not hard it's not hard to see the crap that's going on. Let me rephrase that. But it's just crazy. But the way you got exposed was insane.
Oh no, it's hilarious. This guy could not shut the fuck up. He shouldn't even have a job at all. My boyfriend was making a comment. He was like, yo, he should not be having a job. He doesn't know how to keep it in his mouth.
Yeah, he's right. Because he just he just spewed it all out. It was just verbal. Dude, I'm listening to this. I'm almost thinking, he's right. Because you know what? I was listening to the leak video. I'm like, yo, bro, it's I'm almost believing this shit is staged, because he's just saying everything on here That he should have said.
And he's so excited to say
bro,
it.
He was like, I might be recorded right now. You better not be I'm like, so then if you feel that way, why the fuck would you say anything? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm glad he did. Right?
Yeah.
I'm glad he fucking did. But it's insane how he just spewed it out. Did you watch the video of his reaction afterwards when James O'Keefe went up to him in the restaurant?
I didn't see it in its entirety, but I know that he was upset, and I heard that he tried to assault James O'Keefe or something.
He grabbed his tablet, threw his tablet. This man threw a tantrum. They were going to call the cops, and it was a whole ordeal. I mean, he lost it. It was pissed off, but I'm like, bro, you just spewed out all the shit without much work. Like, what the fuck, man? It's crazy. It's wild.
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying. James is so freaking slick. It's just, you think in your head, it's like, yo, how did this guy select his profile on Grindr, yo? But here's the thing. To be clear, Jordan Walker is the director of research and development, strategic operations, and mRNA planning at Pfizer. So he's a very important dude. And for him to be talking all that shit.
He's not very strategic at all. So that title needs to get the fuck out. They need to remove that right off the bat because that shit was not strategic. Unless there's another plan behind why he did all that. It was just, it's crazy. You know, it's wild because there's another video that surfaced of these reporters. They're independent reporters that walked up to, I believe it was the CEO of Pfizer. I don't know if you saw that. And they're just chasing him down, asking him all these questions, and they will not answer any questions. They were just trying to get away from the reporters because they know they're guilty. They know they're guilty, right? 100%. And all their crap is being exposed right now, and the investigations are being opened. You know, I was talking to my grandfather the other day, and he believes in the vaccine. He believes in all that stuff, right? He was very anti-Trump, all that stuff. So me and him were talking about it. He's like, did you get vaccinated yet? I was like, nope. He goes, why not? He talks to me in Spanish. Like, why would I get vaccinated? You're not seeing all the crazy stuff that's coming out right now? So what crazy stuff? What news station are you watching? Clearly, if you watch a particular group of people, you're not going to get the other side of what's really going on for the most part.
Oh, yeah.
So I told him a little bit briefly of what's happening. It's like, Grandpa, you know, do your research. You don't need me to tell you everything here because I might be wrong in some of the things I'm telling you. So take the time. Just read up on it yourself and come back to me. I promise you we're going to have a different conversation when it comes to the vaccine. And hopefully you don't regret getting it yourself, you know? So, yeah, it's insane. But the way this man just exposed himself and his organization was just not strategic.
Was not strategic at all. You've seen Bad Boys 2?
Yeah, of course.
Where, like, they fuck up everything on, like, MacArthur Causeway and they come back and the police chief is like, gentlemen, what is your job description? And they're like, tactical. Well, tactical. The key word is tactical. Nothing was tactical about this. Yeah.
That's a perfect.
That's what the CEO is going to be doing to him.
Somebody should make a clip about that. That's hilarious.
So, and you know, it's obvious this guy has no moral compass. He stated that it was great for the industry, but not so great for the mankind. He was nonchalant about it without any remorse, as you saw. He was smiling and laughing the entire video.
It's like if it was a joke.
Yeah, exactly. It's like as if it was a joke.
It's disgusting.
To all of them.
Yeah.
To all of them. You remember like the video that came out from Johnson & Johnson about one of the scientists that was talking about the vaccine. So, and then treating, you know, the American citizens as, you know, second-class people and stuff like that. And it's to make money. They're all like that. They don't care. So the reporter asked, what is Pfizer doing about optimizing the vaccines, about its ineffectiveness, like all the stuff that's coming out now. So he laughed and said they had a meeting about that today, and they are exploring mutating viruses themselves to develop vaccines. When asked if they're considering mutating COVID, he states that they cannot say anything to the public. Obviously, why would you, being in their position and how unethical they are? The way that they will test out the mutations is by infecting the monkeys that they currently have in a controlled environment. They will collect the samples that are most infectious and will be put in other monkeys and will just constantly cause to actively infect each other and mutate. So I'm curious to say, what does PETA have to say about this? That's what I'm really watching to see if they say anything. Because, I mean, listen, They bitch about everything, so I'm waiting for them.
Yo,
so
what's this guy's name? Shit, he's a British news reporter. He did an interview with Jordan Peterson. He's done it with he's more liberal. He's done it with Andrew Tate. Here, just keep talking what you're saying. I'm about to look for him right now because I'm about to show you something in regards to the whole PETA thing.
Of course. Okay. So, let me see.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. Piers Morgan. You ever watch Piers Morgan?
No.
You don't know who Piers Morgan is? Oh, no. You know.
I've heard of it, but no.
So he had, and this is just a little side note, he had an interview. If you guys haven't checked that out, it's hilarious. He's done it multiple times where he got vegans on there, like I think people from PETA. And he's a liberal, you know, he's like somebody I don't agree with, but in these podcasts, I mean, holy crap, dude, it was hilarious. He gets pissed off with their stance on the whole veganism and all that to the point where he gets, in one episode, he got a Big Mac taken to the table in front of him, ate that shit in front of him. That's Piers Morgan. I don't know if you can see him. That's Piers Morgan.
Yeah, okay,
You've definitely seen him before, 100%.
So basically another way, which is not preferred, is to simulate samples of the different proteins on the surface of the virus over time. So apparently they can get away with this by labeling it as directed evolution, so Pfizer is in the clear. That's what the director was saying. Control nature before it happens, that's why they're optimizing it. This is supposed to be a cash cow for them, such as COVID, for a while. The ultimate cash cow would be the mutations that they are going to start exploring. Jordan also stated that the pharma industry is a revolving door for all government officials. I quote, all the government officials that review our drugs come to work for pharma companies, and the military, all the army and defense government officials eventually go work for the defense company afterwards. When asked how he felt about that revolving door, he states that it's great for the industry and terrible for everyone in America.
See, that right there, and we got to close out, but I'm glad you ended it with that there, because that just points to everything we've been saying for a long time, right? Or a lot of other people say for a long time. They don't give a shit about us. They don't. They're looking at the...
We're peasants to them.
Exactly. They're looking at the dollar bills. They don't give a shit. He said it himself right there. You know, and it's like, I remember when I heard that piece, I'm like, this is a piece of shit. That's what he is. That's what they all are. Nope. Whoever's involved in this are pieces of shit, flat out. You know, they're part of what Tate will say. They're part of the Matrix. I don't know if you heard of Andrew Tate, but yeah, they're part of the Matrix. All right. They don't give a shit about us, man.
And also one thing that I do want to say before we close out. So there's government officials in there right now that they're looking into that. So Marco Rubio, apparently he sent a letter to Pfizer CEO on alleged gain of function research. And of course, I'm going to put that in the notes so you guys can see it. But he wrote it directly to the CEO himself. And he's questioning, as for example, I'll share a couple. So what efforts is Pfizer currently or planning to engage to mutate the SARS-CoV-2 virus? Does Pfizer intend to continue mutating the SARS-CoV-2 virus through gain-of-function or directed evolution research with the purpose of creating new vaccines before the variant is present in the greater population? And has Pfizer engaged with federal officials regarding their plans to oversee this research? Please provide names and agencies of these individuals. And the list goes on, but the letter's pretty intense.
And I pray that they all get exposed, because this is something that's disgusting.
I feel like this is going to be a crazy year.
It's going to be intense. There's a lot that's going to happen from, I guess, I believe we're already in recession, but with the definition change, with the potential recession that we're walking into, that's going to be a problem with the housing market, gun rights, all the investigations. Patrick Bet-David, actually, I love referring to it because I listen to him the most, right?
I listened to an episode this morning where he was talking about real estate, that there's like a few states right now that are going to crash like 2008. Yeah. Luckily, Florida is one of them. But
dude, I'm telling you, listen to his actual podcast where he brings on people with different views, people we don't agree with, which is awesome because that's what we should be doing. It has the debate with them and ask the hard questions. Even with people we agree with, he asks the hard questions. And that's the way it needs to be. regardless of where you stand. So listen to that. But besides that, he was talking about how like this is going to be the year of the investigations. I believe it. I believe that's very true.
I believe that too.
And I hope that a lot of people get exposed. I mean, the amount of protests I'm starting to see, demonstrations I'm seeing erupt globally across multiple countries where people are protesting the vaccine injuries with pictures of their families and kids. Twitter, there was this family, an 18-year-old girl got vaccinated against her parents' wishes. But she's, 18, makes her own decision. Died of a heart attack. It's insane. How many other people have come with that? This is a crime against humanity, 100%. I mean, for the shitty statement that he said, it's good for us or the industry, but bad for the American people. That is disgusting. That man needs to be persecuted to the fullest extent of the law and made an example of, flat out. But that is what it is. Everything.
And really quick, so to put on what you were saying about the injuries of the vaccine, y'all should check out jab_injuries_USA on Instagram. And that's basically going to share the stories of a crap ton of people that were okay before they took the vaccine. And then now like they're paralyzed. They have like a number of issues. And it's like they show pictures and they tag the families. Like you should really look into that because that's substantial, tangible evidence.
Send me that page because I definitely want to check that out myself, get more into it. But we'll talk. We're going to have a lot of talking points when it comes to Pfizer this year. So you guys, if you guys are tuning in, definitely check this out because we're about to get a lot of information that's going to come out of here. Right. So guys, thank you for tuning in.